So as you might be aware that a Claude code source code has been leaked via map file in their npm registry. So if you go to this code source.npm, I think it will be downloading. Let's check it out. So this .zip file, if I just extract it, yeah, let's go inside this. So these are some of the files that are there. So you can go through that, and this is the post that I was going through. So these are some of. So as you can see, there they are working with the TypeScript files. You can see setup.ts file. There are query engine.ts files. So basically, it's for searching, right? So yeah, let's go through the structure. Let me just copy this image, paste it in Miro. Let's go through this. So let's first try to understand on high level, right? So what is this? This is a full AI coding agent runtime plus CLI plus UI plus execution engine, right? Now, what you can think of it as, it's like a CLI tool. So CLI tool, if you have used, there are various CLI tools, right? I mean, for formatting, they have a different CLI tool. So those kind of tools. If you have used one, so this is a Claude CLI tool code that just got viral, and so like Git and npm, this is also a CLI tool. Uh, it has a AI orchestration layer. It has a tool execution engine, a commands task UI layer, and plugin extensibility system. So what is the top level observation of this? So this is there is the cli.js.map file. If I just let me just write it, or we can just mark it. I mean, we just use. Yeah, so this cli.js.map file, which is approximately of 57 MB, if you can see here, it's of 57 MB, and it's huge, of course. It's compiled and bundled. I think it's from TypeScript. It's bundled from TypeScript to JavaScript, and .map extension is for, of course, source map for debugging original TS code. Now SRC. So if you see, there is this SRC folder which we have just ls. This is the SRC folder, right? And inside SRC folder, what contents we have is this, right? Assistant and these kind of things. So I think this is the SRC folder that we just download from that link. Now there is entry plus bootstrap. If you see here, I think it should be somewhere here. Yeah, you can see bootstrap. Yeah, this is the bootstrap. So main.tsx is the entry point. If you go here, this is the entry point, right? Entry point. Now this likely using Ink React for CLI. This means CLI UI is built like a React components, very modern approach here. So they have used a React. So basically they are using this merge stack. It's very popular as of now and easy to implement. So yeah, different ways to start the app. To start the app, there are many different ways. The first is CLI mode. First is what? CLI mode. Second is interactive mode. Third is what? Script mode. You can also like start via script. So these three are the modes that we can use here. Beside that, if you see here is a query engine.ts, which is what? So this is the brain of this, right? This is a brain, which handles. So query engine does what? Let me just write it here. So what does query engine does? What it does, it handles prompt construction, model calls, which model to call, right? Third is what? Context injection. Fourth is what? Tool selection. What tool to select? Yeah. Of course, it's AI orchestration. So using best tool is the game changer here. So model calls, which model to call, context injection whenever it's needed, prompt construction. So it constructs the prompt according to the needs. Tool selection. Yeah. So these are the parts. So this is a what or agent orchestration layer, kind of similar. Right? Now comes query.ts file. This one, if you see query.ts. So this is for a query lifecycle. Query lifecycle means we input, reasoning, and then output. So it is responsible for that. Now comes another file which is context.ts. What is this? By the name it suggests, right? It maintains conversation state. Okay, context basically means that. Now commands. Let me just check where are commands. So these are the commands. What are commands for? Commands basically what commands it can execute, right? So like Claude, fix, explain, test. So these kind of commands are from this file. Folder, not file, it's a folder. Okay. Now comes tools. What is tools? Let me just tools. Here comes tools. Here comes the mapping file for tools. So tools is the folder. Now defines what AI can do. Right? Defines what AI can do. Oh, let me see. What AI can do. Okay, I need a bigger one. Okay. Like what AI can do. What things it can do, like reading a file, reading, editing a code, run shell commands, okay, running a shell command, searching. So these kind of stuff which it can perform, those things are stored here. Now task.ts, okay, what is this? This is for multi-step execution. Right now, if you see, all the agentic AI workflow depends on this only, depends on multi-step execution rate. So this is for that multi-step execution, okay. Orchestrates the workflow. This orchestrates the workflow, okay. This maintains the workflow. Now comes the plugins folder. Let me just navigate to plugins. Plugins. Yeah, here. So this is for external extension. As the name itself is self-explanatory. Skills is for what skills do we have? What skills we have used this tool for? Not tool basically. I mean, if you see here, what there is skills.md file in cursor. If you see, there is a skills folder, right? So we can have predefined capabilities for this model, which are like have a debugging skill, okay, debugging skill and refactoring skill, coding, reviewing skill, those kind of skills, right? After that, we have system infrastructure, which is services. If you go here, if you go where services, right? Yeah, here comes services. So services are like internal services, API wrappers, execution layers, those kind of services. Okay, microservices. It can be any. Now comes bridge. What is bridge for? Bridge is for communication layer, like UI to engine or CLI talks to. It can be both way communication. So backend. Okay. CLI talks to backend, those kind of bridge, those kind of code is stored in this folder. So you can see that how maintainable this code is. If you see the naming structure, the conventions, those are self-explanatory. The bridges suggest that it is the two-way communication it maintains. The code maintained inside bridge folder is based on two-way communication. So if you see, bigger companies try to maintain the code in much better way than the startups, right? Startup is a messy. Once they level up, they try to maintain it, and of course, one service is with one team. And here comes the state. What is state for? State is for global state management, like Redux, right? So Redux code might be here. Constants and types are self-explanatory, right? Now comes UI layer. UI layer, if you see, this is part of UI components. Comes screens, hooks. If you use React, you are aware that what are these things. So if not, please go through the docs and read. This is a very easy thing. Screens and hooks and components. These are part of UI. So these are part of UI. Okay. Now comes dialog launcher.tsx. What is this for? This is for model interactive prompts. Okay. So for model or interactive prompts. Like if there are some interactions, like if Claude asks you to select yes or no, those kind of things are stored in dialog launchers.tsx file. So this is a very maintainable and long running code, I would say. Now comes interactive helpers.tsx file, which is this. So this is for what handles user interactions. Of course, I can be wrong. This is not. I'm saying that accurate, but I think it's 80% accurate as the file, as the folder names that are suggested here, and it makes sense that it would be doing these things. But of course, inside code, I have not gone through this code base. So once we go through that, we can have a better idea. Now comes. Let's go with execution plus environment. Now, if I go to server folder, there is a server here. This one. If you go inside this, we go inside server folder. If you see server folder, server here. Here you can see there are direct connection manager and create direct connection session.ts file, which is pretty small, 2 KB. So what is server for? Here it was. Yeah. What is server for? So server is possibly a local runtime or sandbox, and there is one remote. Let me just see what was here. Yeah, remote. It is for remote execution support. If someone want to, you know that Claude supports a remote desktop, right? If you just fire some command from this, what do we say this? Okay, remote desktop. It's not this. We are talking about CLI. So here it means that a remote desktop control. Uh, so if you want to fire command in some other, what do we say? Mm, a Linux computer, which is hosted on another cloud. So there you can that command you can fire using this remote thing, right? A remote folder. So this is basically remote execution support file. Now comes upstream proxy. If you see this thing, upstream proxy. This is for proxying request. Uh, Upstream proxy means this is streaming the data of. Let me just highlight this. This is very important. So this is for streaming data or command to Claude API. What I guess. Okay. If you go to the folder, streaming upstream proxy. If you go inside this folder upstream proxy.ts, if you try to open it with the cursor, let's try to open it with cursor. Just a second. It's taking some time. So you see CCR upstream proxy. Of course, I love it. Container side wiring when running inside a CCR session container with upstream proxy configure, use the session to control Python MR. Okay. So this is the code they have. My word. Yeah, as I said, so anthropic.com, so github.com. So this is basically upstreaming the data to its own API. So why Anthropic is a Claude code, right? Okay. So after this, there are integrations, right? If you go here, there are integrations. So integrations is of what? If you see, there is a Vim integration. Let me just show you Vim assistant. Vim is basic. Let me just write it here instead of you. You can go through this folder afterwards. But yeah, let me just make black. So there is a Vim integration. There is a key bindings. Okay. Let me just. My pen is very slippery. Key bindings is for keyboard shortcuts. Okay. And Vim is Vim integration. Vim bindings. You can say. And after that we have assistant folder, which is for what AI assistant interface layer. So AI assist. After that we have voice, which is for voice interaction support. This is very interesting because this feature I don't think has yet been integrated with the CLI, so I think this might be the upcoming feature. Voice interaction support. This is the worth to look at. Now why this they have this voice interaction? I mean, are they listening to our voice? Not so. This is sneaky kind of voice. Let me just open it with cursor. Yeah, returns to okay, I will go through this code and update once. We'll go through this code. Okay. Okay. Now comes the cost tracker. They also have cost tracker. You see this cost tracker thing? It's very interesting, guys. Taking an interesting turn. So cost tracker is also there. Cost tracker. This is for I think cost tracker and cost hook. These are the two files. Cost tracker is here. Cost hook might be here. Yeah, these two files. So what are these two files for? Okay. So one is cost tracker. These two files are for what? These are for one is token usage and API cost. So you see the files are maintained in a very structured way. There is only two files for cost and cost thing. Not much. Now comes session plus history. So how do they store session plus history? So for that they have these files which is history.ts. So it basically stores chat history. Okay. After that, there are actually many more files. I will just highlight the files which make sense. Other files are like you can explore it on your own. So some files that needs to get highlighted are, see, first is project onboarding state. So this is for the people or the interns who are joining the company and they want to just they are first time. So what they can do, they can use this. Just a second, let me go back. So what they can do, they can use this inspiration, not inspiration. They can feed this file to the AI, and AI will explain this whole code base, right? Now special files. What are special files? First is inc. Inc is confirmation that we are using inc from React. Mem directory. So what is mem directory? It's for memory. So temporary memory stage storage. Schemas is for schema validation, of course. So if you see, I can draw a mental model of this. I will show you how it will look. Okay, how will the mental model look? So user CLI, right? This color doesn't look good. Yeah. So basically, if we try to draw the mental model here, now I'm in a comfortable position. So if you see, there is a user, uses a CLI tool of Claude. Then comes React CLI UI using Ink. If you are not aware, Ink React interactive command line app, so they are using that, which is good because one stack is on top as of now. So after that, there is a command layer. After that, there is task orchestration. There is a query engine for building the queries, which is AI Brain. Then there is tools, which is kind of execution layer, executing all the commands. Then there is file system, shell, and APIs. FS, shell, APIs. Okay. So what's actually impressing here? What is the interesting or impressing thing here? So first is this is agent first architecture. If you see everything here, which is there is nothing logical here, right? No logic has been established here. Everything that they are doing is to serve the agent. So the tools, task, skills, everything is for agent, right? The tools which agents can use, the task, of course, to maintain a structure for agent. So it's helpful for agent. Skills. What the skills from that agent? What skills we can fetch and ask it to particularly focus on those skill areas and then review our code or whatever we are doing. React inside CLI, of course, is a clean UI abstraction as you see the ink library we use. So that is also amazing. Now comes this is also highly modular, commands, tools, plugins separated. This is a cost aware system, of course, so because the cost things are also tracked here. It is extensible because plugins and skills are also there. So Claude code is basically what we have seen is it's a CLI plus React UI plus AI agent plus tool execution engine plus plugin system. So CLI plus React UI. So there is a CLI which we of course without that we can't interact with Cloud Code. So there is a CLI React guy. We have used the UI. There is a AI agent. Of course, that is the best top selling point of their whole. And there is a AI agent. There is tool execution engine. There is a plugin system. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.